doubt heard of the great advance made by the Canadians at Vimy Ridge. On Easter Monday morning at 5:30, we were all outside waiting for things to open up. We knew from the preparations beforehand that it would be something never seen before, and we were not disappointed. The whole front was lit up with flare lights exploding into fountain-like streams. The artillery was magnificent, and we could look back for miles and see the continual flares of our heavies. The noise was something dreadful, and kept up an unceasing roar. What a sight it was. I've walked over shell holes before, but these were different. They were more like mine craters. It was well planned and exceedingly well carried out. A great credit reflects on our higher command.
World War I really impacted this country. Canada had a small population at the time, and to have over 60,000 deaths with such a small population, it impacted every family, and it was no different with the Calgary Police Service. We had over 26 officers that served over in the trenches in World War I. And it was in 1917 that the Battle of Vimy Ridge occurred, which was basically the defining battle, recognized as a pivotal moment when Canada became a nation. Remembering World War I and those that gave so much, remembering Vimy, remembering the Calgary police officers that served is really important, because the country that we have today, the Calgary Police Service that we have today, the laws that we enforce today are because of their willingness to give their lives to defend what they believed in. And we of all people in policing know what it's like to sacrifice one of your own. As we commemorate the 100 years since World War I, it's very important for the police service to pause and in some tangible way acknowledge and honor the many, many Canadians that died and the many that served. What better way than to wear a hat badge that has on it special recognition of the Battle of Vimy Ridge that occurred in 1917. A subtle acknowledgement to the great sacrifice that occurred back in those times. We'll wear the badges for 4 years. They'll commence just before Remembrance Day this year, and the hat badges will come off on November the 11th, 2018, which was the final day of World War I. For those members that don't wear uniforms, sworn or civilian, we will be issuing them a lapel pin that is a smaller version of the hat badge. It's ironic this year, as we acknowledge Remembrance Day, that Canada again is facing a new kind of a threat. We've recently seen 2 soldiers that were killed. We know that ISIS has threatened anybody wearing a uniform in a number of Western countries, including Canada. So this year at Remembrance Day ceremonies, if you have a number 1 uniform with the Sam Browne and the closed holster, by all means wear that uniform. But for those that don't have the Sam Browne, where you can wear your gun and your other use of force tools, we're asking you to wear your number 2 uniform. Not that there's any identified risk at this point in time, but for no other reason than it gives great comfort for people attending those ceremonies to look over and see an officer of the Calgary Police Service who is vigilant and who's prepared to protect those that are acknowledging the sacrifices of the thousands of soldiers that gave their lives over 2 world wars in Afghanistan.